Alright, so in doing this interview, we'd like to give a shout out to Transparent Credit Repair. As you see the stickers in the back, all MCs, if y'all want to get your money right and make money before the streams and know how to own your sound of your business, Transparent Credit Repair. One of our partners at heritagehiphop.com. Interview. Alright, so let's go directly into the project now, because there's certain things in this project that you talked about that I want to touch that are very profound and not only deep but life-giving. And let's start from the beginning. Tell me about Birth and what you wanted to exemplify in that track.
Birth, I feel, was the perfect intro, because at that time I felt a certain way about my future in terms of what am I going to do, you know, because I can't see anything without music. Like, if it ain't music, then I can't do this 9-to-5 job forever, you know what I mean? I can't keep working for somebody, I can't keep doing these things that I don't want to do. And I felt that the greatest escape for me was to create a fake scenario of what if this doesn't happen. So that was Birth, like this birth of a fake fictional story of what would I do if nothing happens. So it goes into say, you know, dear whoever this may concern, I learned that life perception is key, therefore I don't know why I care for your perception of me. And then I say, if I don't make it by 22, I'll be homeless by 25. So
stop right there, because that's the part of the song that made my attendance go up first.
Yeah.
So, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Wow, okay, see, that's even deeper now.
Yeah.
Okay, so, why 25?
You see, to me, it was more of like a sense of urgency.
Okay.
To be like, wow, like I only got X amount of years to help this kid out, you know what I mean? Or else this is the path that he goes on, which not necessarily I'm going to take, but I'm just saying, like, you know, to help me feel better about where my future is going to go, if it does not go right. So, you know, if I don't make it by 22, I'd be homeless by 25. For those 3 years in between, I'll be working this 9-to-5, stacking paper to see Jamaica, then climb to the mountainside. So, like, if it doesn't work out, then I'd rather be surrounded by nature. I'd rather be in a place where it's more, you know, if I have to be homeless, I'm not going to be homeless out here with all these brick buildings and all these cars and noise. I'd rather be with the trees, and I'd rather starve myself out over there, you know what I mean? So that's where that came from. And in terms of finding hope, where I say, hopefully the local kids will come and sit with me, you know? Hopefully the local birds will come and sing with me, tell me about their life and bring me food, and maybe even roll a spliff for me. And I could teach them about all of their West Indian history, maybe ancient Kemet and the reason for white supremacy. They'd understand why life in society wasn't meant for me. So that is the picture that I tried to paint as vivid as possible.
Yeah, Birth is deep. And it also brings me back to the Good People EEP. Because you talk a lot about culture and society as a means to having sanity for your life and your personal situation. Let me ask you this. Birth is dope. What is the great escape to you? And why does your development in music always talk about you being separate from the norm?
The great escape? Mm-hmm. My great escape? Mm-hmm. I think, when I think of the great escape for me, it's always a selfish one. Because to help the world as I'm trying to, it's damn near impossible when it's just one man. You know what I mean? So when I think of the great escape, I picture, you know, a house in a mountainous area, you know, probably Puerto Rico, like somewhere in the islands, with a little garden, and inside there's no TV, it's just my books. Like my little rack of all the books that I've read so far, and then my wife and my kid, hopefully, you know, God willing, if that day ever comes, you know. Mm-hmm. I picture it just being surrounded by nature, and not necessarily alone, but in a place where I could have me time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you remind me of the guy from Street Fighter 3 that trains Ryu. The dude with one arm. Like he's all alone, but he's the most powerful master on the game. And when you fight him,
crazy.
He can hit you with a kitchen sink, he can hit you with a fireball, he can hit you with a teddy bear. Like,
wow. He
has every aspect of life around him, but he's a hermit, and he's the most powerful guy, because if he had two arms, he would kill
Yeah,
a crewman.
wow.
So
Yeah.
he's reserved yet strong. Kind of reminds me of you. And that takes me to the next song, Less Words.
Yeah.
Break that down for me.
Less Words was that was almost a letter to myself, almost like me giving myself a pep talk and going through everything that's happening so far in my life. At that time, this was almost last year, because it's about to be February, January. At around that time, I was talking to a female, and she had great intentions for us in terms of, like, you know, building something, and my heart was somewhere else. You know, yeah, I liked her, but my heart was in a different place. And I created sort of, is it a synopsis, or like a review of what my life was at that moment, which may seem like, if you hear the song, there's no female involved, there's no love story, but at the end, you hear that, you get that little singing part that, oh no, I've been lost for too long now, and she knows it. She caught me on my downfall, which is like everything that I just previously said was the downfall. This is everything that's in my mind and in my heart, and I can't invest time yet. And that's where Less Words came from.
But the dichotomy of life and death in the song is very profound.
Yeah.
You have a part where you talk to Pac. He's like telling you, like, I ain't even with you. Like, this is your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's putting you back on your square. Most people use Tupac as a reference of revolution,
Yeah.
strength, and also independence. What does using him in that song mean to you, and why was he an important pivotal character for you to put into that song to make it so strong?
I think Pac is one of the dudes that said things straightforward. Never like really sugarcoating the truth for you. It was more like, this is the truth. So in that little segment where I was like, you know, it starts off by saying, I can't remember the exact words, but if I pass away, y'all gonna be crying. I'm gonna be crying out like about time, you know? I finally get to meet with Marcus Garvey and chill with Bob Marley and rock with Malcolm X and Newton, Black Panther Party, and take a ride with Pac in the same car they caught him in. And I pictured this ride with Pac as something that was like, wow, I'm with one of my idols from this generation, somebody that influenced my music. And then for this dream to come shattering down, as I'm enjoying this moment, I do not want to come back here. This is like my fake death. And then for him to say, I'm taking you back to reincarnation, which was a play on words because, you know, a nation, this is the world that I have to return to. And I kind of debate him on it, like, why do I gotta go back? Like, you know what that is like. You know, it's poverty stricken. It's not cool. It's not a place that I want to go back to. And it's like, no, you have to go back.
That's deep, because once again, that brings me to the hermit in you. Because you seems like you feel like you could exist inside and yet outside at the same time.
Yeah.
Was that the purpose of the song Alone, or All One, as you put it together?
Alone?
Yeah.
No, the Alone is very, actually it does play a part in what you just said in terms of being physical and spiritual in nature. Because if you peep to what the first words of that song is, it says holy love. And that is important because people usually say the Holy Father. And it gives this identity of male and female, or like just male, you know? And I feel like by saying holy love, I give you the impression that I'm talking to something above that is also only and purely a pure emotion. And if you listen to the hook, that comes about as just a spiritual thing, but the verses really attack the physical, you know, daily life that we go through. It's like at the last verse, the things you give your happiness and love for, but yet you wonder why the world doesn't love more. Like you're willing to sacrifice your time with family for money, not knowing that may be the last time that you see them. And then for you to go about your day and, you know, you're working so hard to get a scholarship, you're working so hard for a diploma, but in the end, what do you really gain? Are you happy? You know what I mean? Like, you sacrificed all this time for something that you thought was important, and then at the end just to realize, like, wow, I just wanted to, you know, sit down with my boys and have a sandwich. You know what I mean?
I get it. Alone is my favorite track of all the 6 of them that's on the thing, because profound thought is something that's missing in life. And until you can really sit down and just build with somebody intellectually, male or female, it doesn't matter. Just to have a deep conversation that feeds your spirit. Until you can have that experience, you'll never really understand how deep the song is. And you're having a deep conversation over music that when most people just want to party and turn up, you're asking people to sit down and reflect. Why do you think reflection is something that you've focused on in your music, and yet gets you to let your creativity come out of your soul and affect other people?
Self-reflection. I think the self-reflection came because I've always been, like I said, an emotional person. Mm-hmm. So it's very hard for me not to feel something. And when you're stuck on emotions, when you're very like feeling something, like if I feel happy, I feel happy. Mm-hmm. It's not like something regular. Like it's happy to the point where I got goosebumps. Like, you know, I learned how to appreciate moments of being with people, sitting in a room. Like, wow, I got goosebumps right now. I genuinely feel appreciation for being in a room with whoever I'm in a room with. And for that to be unacknowledged in people, you know, for example, my father and me went to go visit his manager, who used to be his manager for boxing, and he's been very sick. And a couple days ago, we went to go see him. And when we went to go see him, he was sick. Like, he was sleeping. He didn't want to wake up. We're calling his name. He wouldn't wake up. And when we left and we went home, I was playing 2K, and I had this strange feeling. And I was like, yo, what if that was the last time my dad gets to see his manager? And my dad literally came out the room and he was like, yo, he passed away. And that is insane. Wow, you could live your life and not, you know, be concerned about the things that move you, the people who move you, the people who touch your heart. Like, I feel like people don't sit down and appreciate those moments or put those moments in front of money. I feel like everybody wants to be in the bag too much. Everybody wants to, you know, be known and be in front of people's faces all the time. And that's cool, and I get it. And maybe the intention is to help the people that you love, but what if that opportunity never comes? You know, you only have today because tomorrow's never promised. And I think that's important.